It was a seemingly calm morning in May 2025 in Ouagadougou when Ibrahim Traoré received an unexpected invitation that would change everything. Kash Patel, the director of the CIA, had requested a joint interview on CNN to clear up misunderstandings about security cooperation in the Sahel. President, said Dr. Alans Ouedago, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, this could be a trap. Patel is not known for diplomatic gestures, Ibrahim studied the invitation carefully. At 35, he had learned to be suspicious. When enemies suddenly turned friendly, interesting timing, he murmured, especially considering what we learned last week. Major Umaru Sawato, the chief of national intelligence, entered the room with a classified briefcase. President, we have confirmed everything. The evidence is irrefutable. Ibrahim opened the briefcase and smiled coolly. So Mr. Patel wants to clear up misunderstandings. Perfect. We will give you just that opportunity in Washington. Kash Patel sat in his CIA office, confident that it would be easy to manipulate the young African leader on national television. I'm going to make Ibrahim look inexperienced and unprepared, he told his staff. Perfect time to reassert American dominance in the region. What Patel didn't know was that Ibrahim had discovered something that would destroy not just his career, but his entire life, something so shocking that it would change global geopolitics forever. Anderson Cooper will moderate. Patel's aide informed him. Open format, 1 hour worldwide broadcast. Perfect. Patel smiled arrogantly. 1 hour is enough time to show the world who really rules in Africa. He had no idea that in exactly 1 hour he would be paralyzed with shock watching his life implode on world television. In the 48 hours, documents were spread out on an armored table. President Major Sawato, said our CIA source, confirmed everything. Operation African Cleansing is not just about overthrowing governments, it's about something much more sinister. Ibrahim studied photographs, bank transfers, and intercepted recordings of conversations. Kash Patel has no idea we have this, he said calmly, and he certainly has no idea we know about his personal involvement, Dr. Ouedago, and terrorist groups. He is not just financing instability, he is directly profiting from it. The evidence was terrifying. Patel had established a global criminal network using CIA resources to traffic weapons, drugs, and even people through routes against terrorism. As a cover for illegal operations, Colonel Kasem Koulibaly brought the final piece of evidence. President, we have video of him personally supervising a drug shipment at a U.S. military base in Mali. Date 3 weeks ago. Ibrahim took a deep breath. Gentlemen, what we are going to reveal today will not only destroy Kash Patel, it will expose the systemic corruption that infects the entire U.S. security establishment in Africa. And the best part, he added with a grim smile, lines of attack against Ibrahim, completely unaware that every word he planned to say would backfire on him in devastating ways. I will question his legitimacy, his experience, his results, Patel told the Mirror. America first, always. He did not know that within hours he would be begging for mercy in front of the entire world. The evening of May 27, 2025, arrived with unprecedented global anticipation at CNN's Atlanta studios. State-of-the-art equipment had been installed to ensure seamless transmission to 89 countries simultaneously. Anderson, a strategy to humiliate Ibrahim on world television. On the other side of the planet, Ibrahim True sat serenely in his presidential office, a folder of top-secret documents at his side. Good evening, world, Anderson Cooper began. Tonight, we have an extraordinary meeting between CIA Director Kash Patel and President Ibrahim Traoré to discuss cooperation on global security. The screen split to show Patel in a U.S. government office and Ibrahim with a Burkina Faso flag in the background. Director Patel Anderson began, "You requested this interview to clear up misunderstandings." What specifically? Patel smiled with characteristic arrogance. Anderson, there are distorted narratives about the CIA's role in Africa. We want to demonstrate our real. Your perspective on current cooperation with American agencies requires mutual honesty. Unfortunately, we have discovered that Mr. Patel has a very different definition of cooperation and stability. Patel laughed condescendingly. President, I understand that young leaders may have limited perspectives on geopolitical complexities. Ibrahim interrupted gently, like using CIA assets to operate in international drug and arms. Leaned forward, realizing that something extraordinary was happening. President Traoré, this is a very serious accusation. It is not an accusation, Mr. Cooper. Do you recognize these Swiss bank account numbers? Ibrahim asked. Patel was visibly shocked, unable to form words. These are transfers of $47 million from CIA. Linked accounts to your personal accounts. Patel, would you like to respond this? This is fabrication. Patel stammered, sweat visible on his forehead. Forged documents. Ibrahim smiled calmly. Mr. Patel, these transfers have been verified by Swiss banks. Itself, more evidence appeared on the screen. Operation Commodity Exchange code name for the network of cocaine trafficking via African routes using CIA aircraft. Mr. Cooper shut this down. Patel shouted desperately, "This is classified information, classified to protect criminal operations." Ibrahim asked politely, "Or classified to protect Mr. Patel from arrest?" Ibrahim produced devastating aerial photographs of a military base in Mali May 15th. 2 crates being loaded onto a military plane. "This is deep fake." Patel yelled, now in full panic. "It is not real." Mr. Patel, Ibrahim said calmly, "We have not only photographs, but full for 7 minutes." Now visibly shaking, realizing that Ibrahim had evidence that would completely destroy him. How did you get that?" he whispered. "Competent intelligence, Mr. Patel." Ibrahim replied, "Something you apparently forgot while turning the CIA into your personal cartel." Anderson Cooper was in total shock. "We are witnessing revelations that could change the history of..." Ibrahim continued, "with devastating revelation after revelation, but drugs are only part of the operation," Ibrahim said, switching to new documents. "Mr. Patel, would you like to explain Operation Human Market Routes?" And numbers flashed across the screen that made Anderson Cooper hold his breath. "Human trafficking, Mr. Cooper." Mr. Patel used CIA resources to establish a human trafficking network across Africa, the Middle East, and Latin America. "No, not true," Patel stammered, but his voice was broken, lacking conviction. 247 women and children trafficked in the last 6 months through routes controlled by Mr. Patel. Ibrahim continued, relentlessly sold into prostitution and slave labor rings. Ibrahim pulled up intercepted conversations. Here we have. Patel was now clearly in a nervous breakdown, unable to deny the overwhelming evidence. "Please, please, stop," he murmured. "Stop what?" Mr. Patel, Ibrahim asked politely. "With truth, with justice, with exposure of your criminal activities." Anderson Cooper intervened. "President Traoré, how did you obtain this information?" "Mr. Cooper, when the CIA operates a criminal network on African soil, it is only natural that African governments investigate," Ibrahim replied. "We have discovered that document list of 23 CIA officers compromised by Patel's network, some willingly participating, others blackmailed with evidence of illegal activities." "You are destroying American national security," Patel shouted. "One last time, desperate, I am saving America from the criminals who have infected its main intelligence agency." Ibrahim corrected calmly, "American taxpayers deserve to know that their taxes fund drug and human trafficking." Patel was now completely speechless, staring into the camera like an animal caught in headlights, realizing that his life had ended live on world television. Kash Patel's silence spoke louder than any denial. "Anderson Revelations Director Patel, these are allegations that, if true, constitute treason and multiple federal crimes." Paused at the revelations. "Mr. Patel, I understand this is difficult, but the families of the 247 victims of human trafficking deserve justice. African communities devastated by the drugs your network distributed deserve the truth. Honest CIA agents you compromised deserve a clean sweep of your agency." Anderson Cooper tried to give Patel a final chance. "Director, do you have any response to the evidence presented?" Patel finally managed to whisper. I need a lawyer." "Of course you do," Ibrahim agreed. "Gently, I suggest a very good one, because you will be facing charges in at least 7 different countries." Ibrahim showed a global map. Mr. Patel's crimes have spanned jurisdictions on 4 continents. Traoré Anderson asked why reveal this publicly rather than through diplomatic channels. "Because diplomatic channels have been corrupted by Patel's network." Ibrahim replied, "How many American officials are implicated? How many politicians are involved? Full transparency is the only way to clean up the system." Patel suddenly removed his microphone and stood up, clearly trying to flee the studio. "Mr. Patel," Anderson said, "we still have 20 minutes left on the show. Let him go." Ibrahim said calmly, "A man who trafficked hundreds of people does not deserve any more airtime, but America deserves to know the full truth about what was done in its name." The Washington studio emptied cameras, showing an abandoned chair where moments before, one of the most powerful men in the American government had sat in the minutes after. Patel fled the studio, chaos ensued. In Washington, this FBI, alerted by the live revelations, had already surrounded the CIA headquarters, and Patel's residence search warrants have been issued. CNN's correspondent reported federal agents are seizing CIA computers and documents. At this time, a frantic Patel was trying to escape in a governmentist car when he was stopped by a police blockade just 2 miles from the studio. Kash Patel has been arrested. Anderson Cooper announced live on-air footage shows him being handcuffed and read his rights. Meanwhile, Ibrahim continued to deliver devastating revelations to a global audience of more than 200 million. I fear that Operation Human Market is just the tip of the iceberg, he said calmly. We have uncovered evidence of assassinations, money laundering, and even the sale of American national secrets to hostile powers. Anderson was visibly shaken. President, are you saying that Patel sold classified information, Mr. Cooper? We have recordings of him offering the locations of American military bases to Mexican cartels in exchange for protection for their drug operations. Transcripts of the conversations flashed on the screen. Patel literally sold American national security for personal money, Ibrahim said, with evident sadness. Betrayal is the only word that fits. The White House went into full lockdown. President Trump was briefed on the situation in an emergency meeting in the Situation Room. Mr. President, said the chief of staff, the situation is catastrophic. Patel has compromised dozens of operations and agents. How did this happen? Trump yelled. How did a criminal get to run the CIA? Meanwhile, honest CIA agents, horrified by the revelations, began. The world watched in real time as one of the most powerful intelligence agencies on the planet imploded. All because a young African president had done his homework better than the entire American intelligence community. With Patel detained and unable to answer, Ibrahim decided to reveal even more shocking evidence that he had kept secret. Mr. Cooper, what I have revealed so far is just operational crimes now. I will show how Mr. Patel compromised American national security in a much more serious way. Documents appeared on the screen that made Anderson Cooper question whether he should continue broadcasting. These are blueprints of American military bases that Patel sold to Al-Qaeda for $2.3 million in Bitcoin. Oh my God. Anderson muttered, this is pure treason. 7 terrorist attacks in the last 2 years have used information sold by Patel. Ibrahim continued relentlessly. 1 for 3 American soldiers killed because their own CIA director sold information to enemies. Ibrahim produced more devastating evidence list of CIA undercover agents that Patel sold to hostile governments. 23 agents have already been executed by countries that bought this information. Anderson was now visibly in tears. How was this possible? Greed. Mr. Cooper. Patel discovered he could monetize access to the world's most valuable information. Ibrahim replied and used his position of trust to betray the country. He swore to protect. More shocking evidence appeared on the screen. Patel's conversations with ISIS officials about the location of kidnapped American diplomats. He sold information about rescue operations for $750. 03 diplomats died because Patel warned terrorists about a planned operation to rescue them. There was complete silence in the studio. Anderson could no longer speak, only shake his head in utter horror. Mr. Cooper, Ibrahim said gently, understand this is traumatic for the American people, but truth is necessary for healing America. Has honorable soldiers, agents, and diplomats who deserve leadership that protects them, not sells them out. Ibrahim paused dramatically. Patel turned the CIA from a national shield into a criminal auction house. And worse, he was not alone. I have the names of 47 other compromised American officials, including 3 congressmen and a senator. Ibrahim Traoré decided to reveal the full extent of it. Was a systematic conspiracy involving dozens of officers and multiple agencies. On the screen appeared complex organizational charts showing connections between the CIA, the Pentagon, Congress, and criminal cartels. Senator Richard Hall received $3.44 million to block investigations into Patel's activities. Congresswoman Maria Santos, $1.8 million to approve budgets that funded criminal operations. General Michael Brooks, $5.2 million, to facilitate use of military bases for drug trafficking. Anderson Cooper was completely shocked. President, you are exposing a network of corruption at the highest level of the... Mr. Cooper. Ibrahim corrected, when elected officials collaborate with drug traffickers and terrorists, there is no other word for it. Ibrahim produced more devastating evidence. Secret meeting last March, where Patel, Senator Hall, and representatives of Mexican cartels planned assassination of federal judge investigating money laundering. Did they plan to murder a U.S. judge? Anderson cried, his horror evident. They planned and executed it. Ibrahim confirmed calmly, Judge Patricia Morrison found dead in an apparent car accident in April. Our forensic investigation proves sabotage. Patel personally orchestrated the assassination to protect a criminal network. The evidence continued, recorded conversations, bank transfers, even videos of secret meetings. Mr. Cooper, what I am revealing is not a conspiracy theory. These are documented crimes committed by people the American people trusted, and most tragically, while Patel was selling national secrets, he was simultaneously demonizing honest African leaders as security threats. Classic psychological projection. A criminal accusing innocent people of crimes he himself committed. Anderson shook his head. Have been compromised by this network, Ibrahim replied. How many honest investigators have been silenced? How much evidence has been destroyed? Full transparency is the only protection. Shocking revelations had transfixed Kash Patel on air. The world had changed irrevocably. Patel was in a maximum security federal prison, awaiting trial for treason, human trafficking, murder, and dozens of other charges. Ibrahim was in Washington, this time not as a T.